You're listening to the Go Getter Podcast. I'm your host, Candice Janae. I'm a digital marketing and automation strategist and business coach. I'm the CEO and founder of Epic Fab Girl, where we help Christian women entrepreneurs market and scale their service-based businesses beyond six figures as they grow deeper in their faith. So whether you're a coach, speaker, or a service provider, this podcast will drop gems, bringing you tips, strategies, and stories from experts to help you take your life, business, and relationship with God to the next level. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Go Getter Podcast. I'm your host, Candice Janae, and I'm so excited to be here because we're talking about one of my favorite things, marketing. Listen, y'all know I love all things marketing, and I really pray that God really starts to give you downloads about what to do specifically with your marketing. But I'm going to go over 3 key elements of a marketing plan. And these 3 key elements will really position you to do better marketing. And you may be wondering, what the heck is a marketing plan? We're going to get into that. And so a marketing plan really is like a strategy and something that is it's basically a plan. I think we know what a plan is, but a marketing plan is saying how you're going to show up, in what ways you're going to show up in marketing your products and your services. And so putting a marketing plan in place is a detailed, approach to making sure that you're going to get consistent clients and consistent sales. So if you want more money, more income, more impact with your business, you definitely need to have a marketing plan in place. And I'm going to share with you the 3 key elements of a marketing plan that you need to think through and write out. And so usually for a marketing plan, I like to just write things out and say, okay, where am I, what am I going to be doing? So a plan can be just something written out. It can be a document that you put together. It can be a spreadsheet, whatever it is, but it is your strategy and your approach to how you are going to go about doing your marketing. So I'm going to share with you the 3 key elements of a marketing plan that I think every single marketing plan needs to have. So number 1 is a place or platform. So you need to clarify where is your marketing going to happen at, right? So you may be wondering podcasts are a really great way to connect with an audience. Yeah, it is, but it's also a way of doing marketing. We are a business, we run a business. We're helping you be more aware of what we do. We're helping to serve you, and we're helping to grow our audience. And that's a way of marketing our services, our products, and the things like that we have, like our conferences or some of our digital products. And sometimes we'll share different resources that will help you build and grow. And it's a way to not just grow our audience, but to eventually build leads and grow sales. So for you, it's really important to figure out what platform you may want to show up on. So your marketing platform of choice may be a podcast. It may be on YouTube. It may be on Instagram. Maybe your platform of choice is, the news, and you're running ads for your local news and you're doing spots in your local news. Or maybe your approach is to do marketing through media and pitching yourself to media outlets and getting featured by those media outlets and leveraging those to show up. But you got to figure out how you want to get in front of your audience, and you got to figure out a platform. So one of the things I always like to say is figure out where your audience is showing up at and choose that as a platform. So that's why we see Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, your audience is showing up there. Pinterest, a lot of people be sleeping on Pinterest. Don't sleep on Pinterest. LinkedIn, just really figuring out where your audience is showing up, because I really feel like it's really important to know where your audience is, and then that'll help define what platforms you should be showing up on. So I'm big on not trying to do the most for the least. I'm big on show up really powerfully where you can and be consistent there before you transition to another platform. So if you know that word of mouth is a good thing for you, then hone in on that word of mouth. You know that, that's a way of marketing for you, but you got to figure out the place that your audience is and show up there, right? Your audience may be talking to their friends. So that's the place that they're at. That's the platform that you're going to use is their friends and the authority that their friends have. I know, listen, if you listen to this, you probably at some point have needed somebody to do your hair, your nails, your makeup, something. 9 times out of 10, you're not always going, before the days of Instagram, you might not just be going online to look for somebody to do your hair, nails, and makeup. you might be looking at somebody like, ooh, her braids are always cute. Who does your braids? Like, that's how I got this girl's number who did my braids. I was in Target and I said, excuse me, ma'am, I know this is doing a lot, but I've been looking for a girl who does braids. Do you mind sharing with me her information? She pulled out her phone, she found the girl's Instagram, and boom, there we are. So, word of mouth is a really strong form of marketing, and it is something that you can leverage as well. But you also need to understand where else your audience is showing up and show up on those platforms. So, thing number one is you need to identify a place or a platform that you want to show up where you know your audience is going to be. Number two, you need to have proper positioning and messaging. So, proper positioning and messaging. So, positioning is just saying like how you are going to communicate to your audience your offer and your value and your business. So, if we think about, let's think about Chick-fil-A versus a Popeyes. Their messaging is a little bit different. Popeyes, they might not be known for customer service. But Chick-fil-A, baby, they're going to be up in there telling you, my pleasure. Okay. They're going to be in there giving you all the smiles. They're going to be in there giving you a full experience. And it's about the messaging that they're creating. They've created messaging around this. They've created a brand around this. They've positioned themselves in that way. And so as a service provider, I think it's really important to understand that when you don't have a physical, brick and mortar company, especially like you can like your words are so powerful. What you say is powerful. What you say when you show up, where you show up is very powerful. And communicating that message time and time again is powerful because that way other people will be able to communicate the message for you. So I'm thinking specifically about a brand. Like I have a really good guy friend who from that I grew up with, who we are both very invested in like the business world. And even though he's a doctor, he's like a medical doctor. He's also very into like the business world. And I will never forget when he told me about Bevel Shaving Company. And like, I don't know nothing about no razors for men. But I remember him telling me about Bevel and talking about how it's a brand that was literally specifically focused on Black men and the care of their beards and the care of shaving and all of this stuff. And I was like, oh, wow, this is so cool. Like, so they were able to position themselves in the marketplace by creating messaging that aligned with the audience that they were trying to attract. So because of their clear messaging, other people were able to tell me what the brand was about. And I was able to understand that and I can communicate that to other people, right? And so you got to understand that at the end of the day, like when you're positioning yourself, like messaging and how you talk about what you do is so important. Like, have you ever been to an event where somebody got on a microphone and introduced themselves and you was still confused about what they did? Like, you don't want to be that person. Like, you want to be very clear. Like, when I get in the room, I say, hi, my name is Candace Janae. I am a digital marketing and automation strategist and business coach. I'm the CEO of Epic Fab Girl, where we help Christian women entrepreneurs build their service-based businesses to six figures and beyond. We specifically focus on helping them with marketing as a service provider, coach, or speaker. Now, after you heard that, you probably like, oh, okay, she helps Christian women entrepreneurs who are service-based. You might not remember every little bit of it, but you may have heard marketing. You may have heard Christian women entrepreneurs. You may have heard whatever it is you heard, that messaging that I said from that microphone. Somebody gonna come up to me and be like, oh, that's what you do. Oh, you do digital marketing. Oh, you do automation. Like people are gonna come up to me because they heard clearly what I said. And the better that you get at communicating that value more succinctly, oh my goodness, is going to be so much better for your life and your business. Like the more succinct you are about it, the more clear you are about it, it's just going to help your life in the best way possible. Okay. If you've learned anything from this podcast, I know you're going to love the Go Getter Confidential Click at gogettermembership.com. It's a global membership community for Christian women entrepreneurs to connect, build wildly profitable service-based businesses, and grow their faith. So whether you're just getting started with an idea or you already have an established brand and you want to lay the foundation for six-figure income, the Go Getter membership is just what you need. With expert masterclasses, monthly prayer, and tons of courses and downloads, your business will be better because of it. Entrepreneurship isn't easy, but this community will help you go from feeling stuck to clear and motivated. Join today at gogettermembership.com and save 50% off your first 3 months when you use code podcast at checkout. We'll see you inside. All right, now beyond, your place and platform, beyond the positioning and your message, you need to have a clear plan of execution. So a marketing plan is not complete without having a plan of execution. How are you going to do this? Where are you going to show up? How many emails are you going to send? How many text messages are you going to send? What are they going to say? Like, are you going to put up a billboard? If you're going to put up a billboard, how long is it going to last? Like, you got to have a timeline for this stuff. A marketing plan incorporates planning ahead and the timelines. So if you have an event in December, you don't want to start marketing the event in the middle of December. You know you having that event in December, girl, plan ahead. In March, plan ahead. In June, start planning before it sneaks up on you and you like, man, it's December. Where did the year go? And how am I going to make this happen? Like, you got to plan ahead. So you got to figure out your timelines. Like, okay, well, if I want someone to show up to my event in December, I'm going to give myself all of November, all of October to talk to them about it. And I'm going to announce it at the end of September. So at the end of September, let me tell them all about this event and then be marketing all about it. And then you can create your marketing all around that. So okay, if I put up a post on Instagram, I'm going to talk about this event I'm having in December. If I put up a post on YouTube or a podcast, then I'm going to be referencing, or if I go live on YouTube, I'm then going to reference this thing that I'm hosting in December. So that's why it's really important to plan out your marketing, especially if you want to make more money in your business. But again, I think it's so important to make sure that you put an execution plan in place. And sometimes the execution plan requires more than just you. It may not just be you who gets to do this stuff, right? Like, maybe you're not that great at email marketing. Maybe you got to hire a copywriter to do the email marketing for you. Like, maybe you need to hire a social media manager that's going to put the content out there for you. But you got to get clear on your plan of execution, how you're going to do it, your timeline, who's involved. A marketing plan is specific. Okay. So if you do nothing else, I hope that by the end of this episode, you are fully convinced that you need to have a marketing plan in place for your business. You need to think through your place in your platform. You need to clarify your positioning and your messaging. And then you just need to put the execution plan in place so that it's not just ideas in your head and you can push out and make it into an actual real life thing by putting it out there and really scaling your idea beyond just you. So I have totally enjoyed today's episode. I really hope that you enjoyed it as well. But I hope that you implement this and start putting one foot in front of the other and actually creating a marketing plan for your business so that you can continue to make more money and use these elements to keep your clients coming in consistently and your revenue growing month after month. As always, we love you. We're praying for you. And I can't wait to see you until the next episode of the Go Getter Podcast. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Go Getter Podcast. If you love this conversation, you're going to love the panels and workshops that are at Go Getter Conference. It's our premier event of the year, and it happens annually. It's going to help you market and monetize your God-given ideas and connect with women from across the globe. Head over to gogetterconference.com to check it out right now. And just for staying until the end of this episode, we have a special gift for you, the Go Getter Plan and Profit Workbook. This workbook is going to help you plan your income for the year. So head to gogetterpodcast.com/plan and profit to get your copy. And don't forget to drop a 5-star review if you enjoyed this episode. We'll see you on the next episode of the Go Getter Podcast.